Alright, what's up guys? Let's jump right in. I'm not here to waste your time. First thing we got is a normal airlock. One door blocks the other in case anyone's trying to door camp you. Kind of standard stuff. We come in, we got some shop fronts to check for door campers. Inside we got a little few drop boxes right here. Can't fit 4 boxes at the bottom anymore thanks to that update with garage doors. First thing a raider will see if they're attempting to offline you is this little roof bunker here so that they can't door raid you. Come on through, take a few hatchets, and you'll be able to break the foundation, making it so that the roof disappears and you go about your normal business. Come in here, you'll see that I've got some furnaces inside of honeycomb. That's a preference of mine. You do not have to do that part of the building process, but it has saved me during a raid. I got a couple armored doors here. This is where originally our starter, or 1x1 with a triangle airlock. I didn't do the normal triangle setup for the shelves and stuff like that, just because it was difficult to navigate inside the loot boxes with it being a single doorway. In here we've got a bedroom. At the beginning of the build it starts off as like a kind of tier 1 workbench area. Come up this jump up really fast, and this base has a lot of garage door spam to prevent splashing. Each of the squares around the outside you can store beds, stuff like that. I got a vending machine in that corner for extra loot storage. Here we've got our tier 3 and another bed. I like to place beds as many places as possible for my teammates. Over here is the tier 2. We come over here and I'll show you the loot rooms. So inside each section you'll see that there's more garage doors and a drop down with a ladder at the very end. Turn around, open the door, and you'll see that it is a Vanishing loot room design of my own, originally designed by NavyBlue. Mine have shotgun traps, use different stairs, and a slightly different box setup. There are 5 boxes in every single loot room. The shotgun traps are completely undrainable, and it takes about 6 rockets if they want to destroy the door and actually get the shotgun traps destroyed from the top down. Next thing is I'm going to show you, in case you're not aware of what the Vanishing loot rooms do, is I'm going to put some loot in this box, and then I'm going to break it and show you where the stash goes. This is why these are good. Now keep in mind, it only does this for the bottom 2 boxes. The other boxes are lootable via breaking, so you want to put your best loot in the bottom. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to break this. Alright, and you see I was spamming E that whole time. There's no stash. I can't see it. It's not anywhere in sight. I'm going to go ahead and show you where it is. It went inside the foundation. So the only way that they're going to be able to get to that is if they blow it up. They could pick the armored foundation if they really want to, but that's a very large time sink, and as you notice, I don't put any workbenches nearby for them to be able to refill jackhammers. So that's the point of contingency here. Every single one of these double sections has a loot room of its own. So in total, you've actually got access to, let's see, 2, 4, 6 of these loot rooms. The 2 loot rooms are splashable on each side. That is an issue with the base, but it's 3 separate sections that are not splashable. It takes about 32 rockets for each loot room, and that makes it so that it's a total of 96 rockets to get every single loot room in the base. It's an additional 16 for the TC, but I didn't add that in the rocket cost because there's a chance they might splash into it while blasting into a loot room. So up here on the roof, I like to have an inner airlock on my roofs because it's a great place to have a quick respawn point, and when you're taking heli, it's nice to have somewhere to run inside. I've got your standard peak downs on the top side with normal window, vertical embrasures, stuff like that. God, I'm lagging, Jesus. But I've got the normal little drop down, stuff like that, and I've got this compounded to show you how I like the compound. I'll cover that later in the video, but I'm not here to waste your time, so let's get on to the build. So first and foremost, I want to apologize to you guys for never uploading and not really saying much when it comes to my content. I've had people message me a lot asking if I'll ever actually start doing YouTube again, where I went, etc., etc. Long story short, full-time job got ahead of me, and I had a lot of stuff I had to do. I've been going on business trips, and along with that, I kind of got burnt out on editing. I'll be honest, it's a very time-consuming process, as a lot of you know. And I just wanted to take a bit of a break, but I'm back now, so I'll start uploading. I took a break from the solo duo trio life and I started playing in main clans on Rusty Moose main, stuff like that. It was fun, not really my cup of tea. So I'll be going back to my normal from 2 to 7 people, nothing really above 8 though. So that's going to be a lot more content because I didn't figure you guys would really care too much about Zerg content. So I'll be uploading a little bit more. I actually just did a duo with Hames Always Wins. He uploaded a video yesterday. It's actually really cool. We hopped on a server and kicked some ass. It was actually really fun. So that kind of reminded me of what I enjoyed in Rust. But let's get to the build. I'm going to be putting the cost for each stage on screen. Keep in mind it is the cost to upgrade. It is not compounded. It's what you will need to go to the next stage. So we're going to start off with a 1x1. And there's a couple things you're going to want to know about this base before we commit to stage 2. But let's get stage 1 done, and then we'll talk about that. So once we've got all that, we'll get ourselves a TC, if it will actually stop lagging. Hello? Okay. We're going to put it flush with this wall right here, and this makes it so you can fit a large box here. You can fit a furnace here. I'll place the large box first. It's probably a good idea, actually. So we're going to want to try to make this as flush with the left side as possible so that we can actually place the furnace, because it can be tricky sometimes. There we go. So we got the furnace placed, and we'll take the double door, the sheet metal doors or wood doors, whichever you have to start off. Sometimes people like to recycle before. I don't really enjoy it. I like to make this door face inward. Sorry about that. So once this door is ready to go, you got yourself some storage. You can fit all your resources you'll need for stage 2 in the TC in the boxes. You got a furnace that you can get going. I found a way to fit 2 furnaces in here. I'm sure you guys can find a way too. But before we upgrade to stage 2, there's something that you guys want to double check. So this base requires lowered and raised foundations, which could be a pain in the ass when it comes to finding a place to build. You're going to want to find a relatively flat area. It doesn't have to be super crazy flat for like a super triple tier crazy foundation like my other mini Rockstar, but it does need to be relatively flat. So we'll put a triangle. We're just going to twig this out with a couple thousand wood, something that you need to go ahead and invest in at the start so that you know you can build this base. So we'll twig this out so it wraps all the way around. And then we're going to place a square foundation off 2 triangles of the single door, just like that. Those are the 3 right there. And then we're going to fill these in. And then on the ends of each of these squares, we're going to place raised triangles to make sure we can do that, and lower right here so that you've got it set up like this. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. And make sure we can place the lowered right here. Okay. And then over here, we're going to finish this and make sure we can place raised foundations right here and a lowered right here. And that's all you got to do. This is the only amount of wood you have to give, and that was maybe 1.5k wood. Once you've got that, and we know that we can place lowered foundations there, and the raised foundations on each corner, then you know you can build the entire base here with no issues whatsoever. I want that to get checked as soon as you guys have enough for stage 2, and then we will move on to building stage 2. That all done, we're going to go ahead and start upgrading some things. So the circular area is what you're going to want to upgrade first, and then you're going to place a wall here. And this is where you can make a decision. So over there you'll see that I've got a garage door for stage 2 on the top. If you don't have garage doors, then honestly don't upgrade to the roof access yet. I would just upgrade this to wood, and that'll be hatcheted out later when you're ready for stage 3. But if you have garage door, then by all means make that top section. So next we're going to do that little room right there. That's where your tier 1 goes, your research table, etc, etc. Next we're going to build one of our furnace rooms. Alright, okay, so this is important. This is the foundation adjacent from your front door. Do not upgrade this to stone. You're going to upgrade this to wood, and it'll stay wood forever. It'll never get upgraded. And make sure you let your teammates know, just because it's wood doesn't mean they need to fucking upgrade it, because that happened to me, and I was really pissed off. I had to pick out the whole damn foundation, and it was metal. So I wasn't able to bunker out my base, because this is where your bunker goes, because you'll place the raised foundation here, and that's how you bunker your base when you go to sleep. So make sure your friends don't upgrade that, and you don't upgrade that. Moving on, we'll place wall here and wall here. This is your other furnace room. What the hell? Alright. So this is a really easy spot to put your furnaces. You don't have to build walls on the outside of them if you don't want to. I prefer it because it helps with a little bit more honeycomb to your core. Doesn't make a huge difference, but it has helped me. It actually helped me a lot in a raid defense. I was getting raided and they blew the back walls back there, and I was able to use this as like an area to peek through to shoot at them, and I was able to kill quite a few of them doing that. So I like it. You guys don't have to do it because it does add upkeep and it is an extra amount of resources. So that's just complete preference. I just also think it looks nice. So get those done. I like to make it so they're soft side sticking towards us. We're going to place a double door here. Cap this off. Double door. I like to put double doors here as well. Because right now your airlock isn't exactly foolproof, so I like to put double doors here just in case someone gets you whenever you're coming into the base, because you don't want to give them access to all of that. I'm putting double doors because eventually you're going to want to upgrade this stuff to garage doors. It makes the base a lot more feng shui. Right here, before you put any kind of a door frame, you're going to want to make that a jump up. Just like that. So if you wanted to make this, if you had the garage door available, instead of placing that wood there, you could have easily just done this. You go up here, you place the walls. Just like that. And you place yourself a frame. And you can put a double door up here if you want, or a garage door. And that'll be your way up to the second story of your base. And this is done. This is stage 2. Alright, so at this point, you've gotten your 1x1 down, and you've twigged it out, and you've upgraded a good portion of it to give yourself some extra space for the beginning of wipe. This is where we're going to make our bunker, and this is where we're going to be making our pretty large airlock. So, coming out to the front, you're going to place your walls, just like this. Right here, you're going to want to put a raised foundation, just like that. And you're going to place the other one right here. Put a wall here. You're going to put a wall here. And then foundation here. And not right there. Right here. Frame there. This is where your door is going to be. I like to make sure I don't get door camped, so I always have shop fronts. Frame. And then we're going to put half walls here and here. And don't forget to upgrade that. Just like that. Alright. I'll put a frame here as well. That's where you're going to put your drop boxes. This is my preferred airlock method, where this door blocks them from getting in if this door is open, like I showed in the tour. And then we're going to put some shop fronts. And this is where you would put those 3 boxes, so you have drop boxes, 2 doors deep, or actually it'll be 3 doors deep because you'll have a door right here. Make sure you place your frame before you place the boxes, because Helk's a jerk and made it so that the boxes, as I've stated before, you can't place them afterwards, and I screwed up placing these, but you get the gist. You can fit 3 boxes in here, and then you place the door. I like to put a repair bench up against this wall, just because it's nice to have to skin and repair stuff, and it's somewhere outside the base that you don't really need to worry about anything. This will eventually get upgraded to high qual, and this is where your working bunker is now. This will be where you seal it when you go to bed. This is also, if you don't have as much time as other people, this is a good place to stop and just hope you don't get raided. Hopefully when they see that, once they start door raiding you, they'll realize that, you know, maybe raiding the space isn't such a good idea. And you can continue on to stage 4, you know, the next day when you have the materials, etc., etc. Alright, so this is going to be our lengthiest portion of the build at stage 4. We're going to build all the way to the shooting floor and then stop, and I'll state that you don't have to build the shooting floor just yet. But we're going to do it all in one shot here, so I'm not going to try to speed anything up here. I'll give you guys plenty of time to check out what's going on. So we're going to come out to the outside, and this is where you're going to need a whole lot of metal. I recommend only bringing out a little bit at a time and not doing this all at once, because God forbid you die with like an inventory of metal or something like that. At least have some allies watching you as you build, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to upgrade these walls and rotate them inward, because we want to protect the loot. And we don't want people soft-siding if they went through the center of the base and soft-side into every loot room. That was a lesson I had to learn through trial and error. So we rotate each one of these as we upgrade. Make sure that the raised foundations that we got earlier are armored, not metal. So you're going to need a little bit of high qual as well. Not too much yet, though. So then we wall this off as well. And we're going to place a wall here and here. Upgrade both of those to metal. We're going to place a floor just like we did on the other side. Alright, and we're going to also put a wall right here. Alright, so that's one loot room basically done. I'm going to place a wall here, a wall here. I'm upgrading... I'm not going to upgrade those just yet. You can upgrade these to stone to start off, because this doesn't lead directly into any loot rooms. We're just going to metal out the loot rooms for now. That sounds good to me. Because otherwise the cost will be a little high at the beginning. But eventually you're going to want to metal your entire exterior. Let's see. Okay. 3 floors. Okay. Make that stone as well. Just like that. Next room. Basically just repeat the process until we have every single section done. Just so you know, we're not rated. That done? Make this stone. Alright, so make these stone. Alright, so you should have basically have it mirrored on each side now. We got some loot rooms almost done. We got some stone walls. So here's what we're gonna do. In order for you to have doors and the base to not feel funky, we're going to have to create a half-height section, because basically the entrances are going to be like this. We're going to metal these, just like this, on each loot room area, and then it's a jump up, excuse me, it's a jump up to get into each loot room as you saw in the videos, see? And it's just like that. So what we're gonna do to make this more feng shui and make it so that your shooting floor isn't compromised, we're gonna make full height walls and we're gonna metal them just like that on each of the loot rooms. Ready to do on this side? I'll get this out of the way just so that it doesn't mess up the building process. Alright, so what we're gonna do next is we're gonna build half height stone walls so that everything evens out. And this is where we're going to put the half-height section. We're going to go ahead and put floors all right here. This also has an extra layer of honeycomb if they want to top down your base. And anyone who sees that this is anyone that sees that this is a circle base starter, meaning triangle all in the center, they're going to want to try to top down the base. And what they don't realize is that's not going to get them immediately. And that's kind of what we're hoping for. You actually want to leave that open. That's your jump up to the shooting floor. Alright, so we've got all of that completely good to go. You can choose here to metal it or stone it. Floors don't cost much to metal, so I'm going to go ahead and metal this just because I know that floor tiles only cost, 100 frags a piece for the squares, and they only cost 50 for the triangles. And it has a really good defense against getting caught down, which is a popular way to raid. Alright, so we got that good to go. We're going to go ahead and wall this so that we know this is our roof entrance. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so now that we've got that sealed, we can start working on the interior. So we're going to go ahead and start finishing up our loot rooms. I'm only going to show you a couple, and then it's kind of obvious what to do from there. So to begin, we'll go ahead and, this is our way up from the center of the base. We're going to go half wall here, metal it, okay? Half wall here, metal it, a floor here, metal it, okay? And then we're going to do a wall here as well. Here we're going to have to put a half wall. Alright, so the reason that we have that half height section up here is this isn't going to be our shooting floor, that's going to be honeycomb like I stated earlier, and the shooting floor is going to be on the top of this. The reason that we're doing that is because I like to make the loot rooms a little bit more secure. The old design of the space did not have these, but they do now, because an issue with the old base was that, once they got into the loot room floor, they could invade very easily and get a lot of your loot pretty simply. So garage door, and you can open and close it from down there, and then it takes up that space. See what I'm saying? So you can do that for each of these loot rooms. Place that, place a garage door. So that leads you into each of these loot rooms. Don't forget to half wall this out so that your loot rooms are more separated. This is where you'll be putting a ladder. Here I'm going to show you how exactly to build these loot rooms, so make sure you pay attention because there is a weird bug with these. I'm not going to show it, but as long as you pay attention you don't have to worry about it. Make sure you metal that, apologies. Alright, so we got our boxes. You're going to take them, and you got to make sure all your friends get offed on these boxes. Get the code lock inputted so that they can access these. We're going to put it so that it's as flush as possible against the armored foundation. Because that's where we want it to go if shit hits the fan. Alright, next we're going to take some U-shaped stairs. We're going to take them. We're going to upgrade those to metal as well. We're going to go ahead and climb on inside. We're going to place a box just like this so that the code lock's facing the arc towards us. Alright, and then we're going to place boxes on the shelves as well. And remember, as I stated, do not upgrade or place these stairs until your friends have authorized on these boxes, or they're not going to be able to get these very easily. I think it's still possible to get to them, but it's a huge pain in the ass, and I don't think you want to hear your friends bitch the whole time. So, that's just me, though. Alright, then we're going to go grab some shotgun traps, and this placement's a little funky, but it works out just fine. The first placement is right here in the back. You want to angle it so that it's flush against that back corner and facing this direction, just like that. And then same with this one, it's going to be sticking out a little bit pretty far. I might not have placed that back one correctly. Yeah, okay, there we go, got it. So the reason that these are here is this one blasts them if they try to hide once the door frame is there, and the other one blasts them if they try to hide the other side. So we're going to put this one a little bit closer to the front so that we can actually access it. Once everyone's off in the boxes and you're good to go ahead and place the frame and upgrade it. You should be able to reach your shotgun trap so you can refill their ammo. This is the one that gives me trouble. I would always fill that one before the other one because this one blocks you from grabbing that one. But looks like we might be okay because I was able to access both that time. So then you can choose, you know, armor door, single door, doesn't matter. Place it in, you're good to go. Just like that. And then you just need your ladders. And that's how you build those loot rooms. Alright, so we're going to do that on every single loot room. I'm going to skip ahead. I'll show the building of each of these really quick, and then we're going to skip the section of me building every single loot room, because that would take forever. Alright, so here we go, we got that. Loot room. Everything's going to eventually need into loot rooms. You can upgrade that if you want, you don't have to. Yeah, like I said, you're going to eventually want the entire exterior to have. No. Get those loot rooms done as well, like I showed you on the first one. And we're going to show the next step. Don't forget that you can place door frames here, obviously. I use single doors, double doors, doesn't really matter, to be honest. Place your vending machine there if you want to do it with it. This is where your workbenches go. I put the tier 3 here, and there's a reason behind that. Go ahead and upgrade this with the battery. Alright, so there. So we're going to jump up, and I'll start building in the next section. As you can see, the garage doors really make things complicated if you wanted to try to build something different. Place that there. Alright, so that's our jump up. Go ahead and upgrade this to metal. Okay, so we're just going to cap this off. Here on the total cost, I'm going to go ahead and make this metal, but one thing I did to make it a little bit less splashable is I put stone honeycomb, and that is in the final cost of the base that I displayed earlier, is this honeycomb, so if they're going top down, they can't splash into every section of your base very easily. And here's how I had it set up. I just basically put a half wall on each section, so that splashing my base isn't something that is very easily done from the top down. It's a lot of stone to do this, but it makes it a lot harder on the raiders, because they only be able to get into one section of your base at a time. So something like that. Just spread them out however you want, add as much as you want. Definitely do it to the core and the adjacent rims, but it isn't exactly a perfect mix based on how much you want to put into the space. Unless it is all about upkeep. My final version that I showed you, keep on and everything like that, had the half walls all over the place. So keep that in mind. That, and don't upgrade that, I apologize, you need that to get out. So you'll be jumping up here. Alright, I had to cut that, I messed up, so we're gonna go ahead and do this. Because your way up is right here. And then you come up and you jump out, and this is your way to the shooting floor. Nice. So here you can stop if you want, because now you've got your loot rooms done, and you got your half wall section done, but if you want to make your shooting floor and everything, we'll move on to that next problem. So building this, I want to make sure that the shooting floor is perfect, because if you screw up the doorway peak downs, you can't finish your honeycomb. That was an issue I ran into as well. Like I said, you're getting the perfect version of this base. I went through a lot of trial and error when it came to building this on vanilla. So what we're going to do is we're going to build right off of the square here, and we're going to upgrade that to stone. Then we're going to build a doorway right off the bat. And then we're going to connect it with triangles so that there's a gap, and then make the windows. Okay, and the reason that I do it exactly that way is it makes it so that when I make honeycomb, it'll be flush with it. You can't do it here because of the airlock, like I said earlier, but you'll be able to do so with the other sections. So we come over here, and we'll upgrade this. We'll make a doorway right here. It will not, this will unfortunately make it so that your shooting floor is not symmetrical, but it'll be functional, and you know, that's really what counts here. And to show you what I'm talking about, normally with doorways, if you have it like this, and you try to build this honeycomb on the outside, it would block you from placing this one. Because if there's a door frame on this side, you can't place a wall here. So that's why it's meticulous in finding out exactly how to build this shooting floor. So we're going to come over here next. We're going to verify each time that we can make the honeycomb. You guys don't have to do that, because as long as it works on here, then you just follow my steps. But this always gave me a pain in the past, and I want to show you guys the incorrect way to do it. That's good. As long as I can place those walls, I'll be good to go. Alright, so that's those peaks done, and that one side of the window floor is done. So next thing we're going to do is another door right here. Go back and make sure that this works correctly. Make sure that we can honeycomb this. Make sure we can, but I'd like to double check. Okay, awesome. Alright. Next thing is this one. Place our honeycomb. And awesome. Alright. Next. Alright, so now we've got each of our doorway peaks up. Go ahead and open those up. And then we'll start on the interior of the shooting floor. Put some razors down real fast as well in construction. Uneven razors, you should get that many. I like vertical razors, and if you use horizontal razors, you can unsub because they're worse. And you're wrong. So use them. Now we're going to build this interior that you guys saw at the beginning of the video. Very simple. We're going to put a doorway. I like to have two exits in case of being raided. So we're going to put a doorway here and a doorway here. And then to make sure that we mark those correctly, let's put a garage door. And then garage door. And we shot fronts. This also makes it a lot easier to fill out your shooting floor without stability problems. And there's a place to run if you're taking it, like. Alright, next. I'm not putting the top of the roof access on this base, but you're welcome to just make one of these into one. Fury's biggest pet peeve is living in a dog meat base all white. So, just so you guys know, I'll make sure I'm showing this video. We're gonna go ahead and upgrade all this. Alright, looks like your shooting floor is all good to go. Make sure you don't miss anything. Awesome, and we've already metaled out the ceiling, this right here, so we should be good to go. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to honeycomb this base. So, if you want to use the high qual, I recommend it. You're going to want to go ahead and make these armored. And then finish off the honeycomb with metal. Or you can use stone. It's up to you guys. My rocket count was using metal though, so make sure you subtract, what was it, at least, what that would be, subtract 8 rockets or 4 rockets from every side, so it'd be 4, 8, 12, 16 less rockets to raid you. So get those honeycombed out just like that. We're going to want to go ahead and metal the entire base. So we got everything metaled, and we're going to go ahead and honeycomb these again. I'll speed this up really quick and upgrade all of this so that you guys know exactly how to do it. Alright, so like I showed earlier, there's actually a tier 3 right here. One issue I had was if they blew in right here, it was an easier way in since they didn't have any honeycomb on this section. So something you can do if you want to make it even more difficult is you can add this honeycomb here on each side. I didn't do it on the main base because I didn't think it was truly necessary, but it is technically a weak point in the base. So if you want to honeycomb those with squares, that's fine. And you don't need to honeycomb here, or you can simply armor this if you really feel the need to. But remember, your tier 3 will block them from getting in if they blow that wall. So keep that in mind. Alright, well, that's basically the base. I'll go ahead and speed up the rest of this. I'll show you guys how to build your external TCs if you want to add them to this base. I'm a big fan of them, so just to show you one side really quick, and you can repeat it on the other sides. One side right there, and then you can repeat that on this side, and on this side it's a little bit different. Like that on this side, and
I'm an angel, and if I was a man, I couldn't do anything because man always fails, you know. He's so limited. He doesn't have.
Folks anxious as ever, but never fearful. It's simple, it's simple. So I'm giving it all that I know. That's the way I live now. That's the way I live now. Nothing can stop my